Good morning, everybody. It's more of the JavaScript party. Apparently my buddy Gretchen and my buddy Rhett. Here you go. Uh, Gretchen is done with us. Um, so yeah, here we go. It is 9:33, 7 July 5th, 2026, Sunday. Whew, it's been a weekend. Last night we were up very, very late. Watching fireworks in the Marietta Square. It was so nice. It was so nice. And everybody was just so kind. It was just a beautiful evening. Most everyone had an amazing attitude. Um, and the fireworks were spectacular. Here we go. Okay, so this is to remove Cypress. Okay, I thought we were doing the refactor today, but all right, I'm not looking forward to this at all. Okay, so I think we need to um I guess we're going to be changing the way things are done completely. This is actually not even just a refactor. This is a refactor of the code. Or we're not getting ready to do just a refactor of the code, but I'm gonna, what are we calling these days? Basically, I'm gonna also have to refactor my workflow. And all right, I guess now we're calling workflows pipelines. I have to refactor my pipeline. So let's hit Control C on this. And this is something I very rarely do, but I think what I need to do is like cd dot dot and then code dot. And then I think what I need to do is okay, so this is done. I think we're done with this one here. And this from here on out is where we're going to um, start when we work on this, which is actually very similar to all my other projects. My other projects are just like this, where start with I start sort of one level above the Angular application. So this one is actually going to conform more to how all my projects have been since this year, the beginning of 2026. The beginning of 2026, I sort of changed the way I was doing things, and it was basically because of this exact issue. Now, I don't know what the best way to kind of do this is. I think probably the best way will be to. So this is going to be slightly different because in general, most of my projects, I will have the Git repo start up here at the one level above. This is going to be the only one where I have a Git repo, I think. I don't know, maybe I'll like it. But a Git repo um, at this level, I want it in the span DT, but I don't want it. Yeah, yeah. So I think the next step is, don't know exactly, but I'm going to try this. I believe the next step is going to be, so the strategy is to separate, or the goal, I guess is a better way, is to separate um, Cypress from Angular. And the reason we need to accomplish that goal is to, because they both share Cypress and uh, Angular both share this package.json, and this package.json defines the version of TypeScript this entire project uses. And so Cypress, at least the version I have, wants to be in 5.5, TypeScript 5.5, but Angular wants to be on TypeScript 6, and so that's causing issues in Cypress right now. So I had to write some code, some band-aid code that sort of says, "Hey, go ahead and ignore it." But the problem is it's ignoring deprecated things. But deprecated just means that they're going to delete it in like somewhere between like tomorrow and never, right? There are things have been deprecated, but they've been deprecated for years and years and years. Like there's like a host thing for CSS, the SCSS in Angular that I believe has been deprecated since the first day Angular, first release of Angular, and it's still there. Um, so just because something is deprecated doesn't mean it's going to be deleted, but all it um, very well might. Um, so, anyways, I don't know exactly how I would do this. I would normally, I think, okay, so I believe what I want to do is in this, so this is the package that's one lower. In this package, I want to, from here, I want to do an npm install of Cypress, just the way I like how I did this Angular CLI. But I also want one layer down this to be in the folder of Cypress, but does it need to, maybe not, maybe it doesn't need to be one layer down. But I am going to, I don't know how this is going to turn out. So let's just do this. Like I have a pretty good idea of how this works out, but in GitHub, I want to create a new repo. So, so I think the strategy, if I think this is how you use the word strategy, the strategy is that I want to lift and shift all of the, I want to completely separate these and um, by putting Cypress into its own folder. And then the tactic is going to be to create a repo, clone the repo from this directory, and then clone the repo from this directory, and then hopefully it'll be one down. It doesn't matter, I guess, if it's multiple down. Then install Cypress, probably the very latest Cypress, and then move all of the Cypress stuff over, and then delete it all in this one. You don't want to leave it. You got to delete it. If you leave it, it's going to cause so much confusion in the future. And then um yeah, and then delete it, and then we'll be done. So those are the steps. Those are steps I want to accomplish. And so when we're done, we'll have like 6 of these instead of 5 of these. Um, so first step is, I guess, click on repos. I don't do this very often. I think this is this account is probably 20 years old, I would guess. And so in 20 years, I've done 64 repos, so like 3 repos a year. So I don't do it very often, but repo, and this is going to be space and time dash Cypress. And then, oh, wrong place. I think that must be the search. So E to E um, tests for space and time. And I do think I'm not strong in Cypress. I definitely will admit that. But I definitely think um man, I wonder how that's gonna work. So okay, so I'm gonna create the Cypress. I'm trying to figure out chicken and egg here. Like, do I want to create the repo first and then no, I think I want to create the Cypress first and then the repo. I guess it doesn't matter. I guess the question is like, do I want to clone it first or do I want to connect it? And I don't know if I have to do that at this point. It's fine that it's public. I appreciate it's going to add a README for me. Git ignore and add license. No license. I don't even know what that means. I think the one that like honestly, I just don't care how anyone uses any of this. So I guess I think that maybe I don't know which license is the one I would want. that just says, hey, anybody can use it, and if somebody else uses this and makes it, they have to let other people use it too. Um, but I don't know. I don't know which one that is. It wouldn't be that hard to figure out, but I don't care either. It's the kind of thing, I guess, when you do care about it, it's too late. It also feels like one of those things, like no matter how you do it, you're going to be wrong. All right, so now we have this. I guess, so I usually like to install things up here at this package level. I guess that is not necessary. See, and that's the other thing is I do this so rarely, the world has just changed. Every time I end up doing this, there's been like a major change in the way things are done. Um, so copy. So this is to push an existing thing. This is to create it locally. I guess this is what I want. So I think I can just copy that and then in here, I can hit Control V and enter. And main is a good name. All right. I don't know what happened because I would have. It's weird because all I did was clone this. Okay, so I don't want it cloned in here actually. And I can't remember how you delete these things, but I don't want it cloned. This is one higher. I want it actually cloned inside of space and time. I mean, it's inside of its own folder called space dash time dash um, thing. So, all right. So I know there's a way. I gotta. I think I can't remember how you do this. So I need to delete this commit, or this repo. Um, and I'm gonna need help from ChatGPT to do that. I see we have Ella. So cloned a repo into the wrong directory locally. How do I undo that? How do I undo that? I'm pretty sure there's a single file that we delete. Okay, so you haven't done any work, simply delete the clone directory. Okay, I don't want to delete the directory. I don't want to delete. Oh, I don't want to delete the whole directory. There is other stuff in there. Want to keep. It's so easy to make like a mistake right now that would really, 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 really hurt you. Um, oh, not the parent directory. If you did a normal clone, git clone, for example, and that is what I did, right? Well, I did, okay, so it gave me, well, the instructions, these instructions, GitHub instructions. I think it's just, yeah, it's still in there. Oh, okay, so I didn't actually clone it, apparently. I actually created a repo and then tied it to this one, and I don't want to do that. Oh, and it pushed it. Oh, Jesus. I didn't ever pay attention to this. So oh my gosh. So it did commit the, okay, so I need to delete. Well, maybe I guess I should delete the remote repo from, I just blindly did that and just connected from GitHub. And then remove the git locally and start from scratch. I cannot freaking believe I just pasted that in there. There's like that is such a rookie mistake. Uh, okay, delete the empty. So it's not empty, but it has a bunch of stuff that I don't want to. Empty, um, because it has the stuff that I blindly copy and pasted. And well, okay, so that's okay. So it doesn't look like this actually got committed though. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to delete. It's not an empty repository. I think it's fine though to delete it. Okay, so let's go back here. Oh man, I can't believe I did that. What a rookie mistake. So I didn't really pay attention to the what I was actually doing, so I ended up like well, okay, let's see what's in here. I guess it makes sense to see what's in here. Okay, so I guess all it has is okay, I guess all it has is that. So I guess I don't okay. Actually, well, now that I look at the repo on GitHub, all I have pushed is the README, which is fine. But want to remove the local repo and reclone it and clone it into it. Clone this one into a different directory. Which is exactly what you'd expect for new. You can leave it alone, remove the local. So yeah, that's what I thought. All you have to do is remove the folder. So I think the git folder, and then it's just gone. It's like it would never happen. But let's see, inspect. So basically, I just wanted this to be one level down. This is sitting on top of the entire application. It just was a level high. It would and I mean, I'm telling you, this kind of thing, you just do this all the time. And it is so easy to just like how I just did like the whole thing. I was just like oh, just copy and paste and everything works out, which almost always is the case. Uh, it's usually just not even worth thinking about, but in this case, I messed up. Okay, so I want to view hidden files. I haven't done this is another thing I haven't done in a long, yeah, hidden items. Is usually Git. Yeah, yeah. So I think all we do is just delete this folder. And now I think I can say, maybe I should, this thing probably doesn't, uh, um, Visual Studio, you know, probably would, it wasn't designed to notice that a, a, a repo just disappeared underneath this. Um, it's probably best just to kill it and restart it. Okay, so now I want to create my folder. So make dir, and that is going to be, um, I'm just going to call it Cypress. Now I want to clone this into Cypress. I'm thinking it just will. So I think you click this button, copy this. Let's just try this again. And like I said, I was like sort of just blindly copying and pasting, running commands, not really thinking through them, which, is a fact of life. That's just something that happens. Um, and then cd Cypress. And then I wasn't paying attention, and then I almost did it again. But that time I was paying attention. I honestly don't. I think if I hadn't been up late last night and I wasn't tired right now, I probably wouldn't have made that mistake. But maybe I would have. I don't know. So I believe we just say git clone. Now, in some professional environments, like enterprise environments or military environments, you kind of have to take a second and think, okay, do I want to do this as an admin or do I want to do this as a non-admin? That is a very important question if you're using Windows. I don't know about Macs or Ubuntu or like Unix or something, but all right. So now Cypress has its own little set. Okay, so now I want to do an npm init, and this is my Cypress project, and I want to install Cypress. Okay, init -y. So it's just basically going to give it a default name of Cypress, which since I don't plan to make this like a shared library, which I've never done that before, I don't have the vaguest idea. I actually had a really, like probably one of my absolute most favorite bosses ever, maybe my favorite boss ever, um, tried to show me how to do it once. I remember he was just like, okay, you should, because he thought I could make like libraries that would be useful for people, which I probably could have, but that process seems to drive people nuts. All right, so now we are in our Cypress and we have a a um we should have a package file now. See, this is what I don't understand. Okay. Oh, it's because I created it in there. Okay. So I want to run that clone command here. So now this time is a little different. I can actually just delete the whole folder. So before it was like, hey, if you haven't done any work, just go ahead and delete the folder. This, I don't have anything that I want to keep, so I'm just going to delete it. And let's try that again. Oh, I guess I need to get out of there. I can't be in that directory if I'm going to cd dot. Okay, so what I actually want is this space and time Cypress to be one level down from up here. So I think what I got confused was, so what I normally do is copy and paste and clone, but this time I actually created it locally, which was a mistake. And that was kind of like at first I was like, I can't remember exactly how to do this. That's the issue. So I'm going to delete this, move that to the recycle bin. Okay, it wants me to approve it. And this is going to take forever. Okay, so anyways, while it's doing that, let's see if we can status. Okay, let's try this again. So now we have our space time Cypress right here. That's exactly what I wanted. So now let's go to CD. And that was kind of a mistake because, well, I guess not. Space and time Cypress. That's so funny. I called that space and time, and this is called space time. Now, I don't think it matters. I think I can rename that parent folder whatever I want. Um, so get status. Okay, so now we have a local thing. I thought we would, let me try this code dot, just get a better view of, I guess it isn't a better view. Okay, so I do have my readme. That's what I was curious about. But I guess I could have, yeah, I am a bit out of it. I guess I could have just looked in there and I could have seen that. All right, so now we want to do an npm init from here. What I didn't want to have to do is go 2 layers deep to get to stuff because I think I want to work from up here. So npm init -y. So that's going to name this project spacetime-cypress. So like if we close all of these, and it is kind of weird, like it's hard to know how dependent you are on any given thing. So what happens if I feel like I need to kill this? Yes, because for some reason it is just misbehaving. Because we're trying to delete this thing, and for some reason it just like doesn't want to delete it. Like, um, see how fast it was? You just delete it, but for some reason, now I don't know. Oh, well, that's asking again. Uh, so basically, I just got an admin request right after I shut down Visual Studio. It like asked for another admin request to delete stuff. Oh, this is interesting. It actually lost my monitor. I'm gonna no, I don't want to do that. I think monitor. Okay, it looks like it's back. All right. Um, okay. All right. So now we have our package. This thing is very, very confused, but we do have our package.json down here. And now we want to install cypress.io. Okay. And I want to go into it. So cd space and time Cypress. And so this is still like in some ways we're still just working on the Angular 22 upgrade, I guess, now that I think about that. Um, okay, cool. Okay, disaster averted. Um, so now I want to install Cypress. So this is one of those things where you're going to get okay, so cd space and time Cypress init y, we've done that. Install save dev. I guess it technically this is a good way to tell people that this is not part of the actual product. So control V save dev Cypress. So it's kind of cracks me up that this is this, yeah, so it's got Cypress. I was like, am I installing something different? Because I know they generally like to call themselves Cypress IO. Oh yeah, I don't. This is it's a standalone. I'm doing a standalone because don't want my Cypress TypeScript version to be coupled to my Angular type. It's a solid. ChatGPT actually thinks that might be a solid. That's a solid architectural dis design decision. Okay, one of the biggest annoyances with Cypress in Angular project is that it inherits your Angular project toolchain. Yeah, that's toolchain. I don't think I've ever heard that. I have. That's the first time I've heard those words, and it's kind of funny because I'm so sensitive to new words. When a new word enters the my world, I just like beep beep beep. Okay, watch out! Alert! Alert! Will Robinson. Okay, one of the biggest annoyances. So that is true, and I guess this is nice because this actually lets me practice words, right? So Angular pin specific TypeScript version, Cypress and its preprocessors sometimes lag or lead architecture. Upgrading Angular can unexpectedly break Cyclists. You and I just spent quite a while dealing with that. By keeping Cypress in its own repo, you can upgrade Cypress whenever you want. You can use whatever type support. See, this is a perfect example. Like if with Cypress, let's say we don't do updates and it works, it's fine. Whatever. All it does has to do is click through. Let's say we need to do an upgrade. We do an upgrade, we find out, oh crap, it broke a bunch of stuff. Rolling back is simple and trivial. You cannot roll back the end user's browser. If they decide to upgrade their browser, you can't roll that back, but I can roll back Cypress. So the way I approach Cypress should be different. That's me thinking out loud. I know it kind of comes off as preachy. Maybe I'm just sort of preaching at myself, but anyway, so now it's going off on that. So I want to install it. Okay, npm all install save dev. Now the next thing I'll probably need to do after this is update my like git ignore or add a git ignore. Oh, I already copied this. So this is like one of those other things where it's just like it was just a mistake. It was a rookie mistake. I'm glad I learned it at home, not at the job. Because this would be like, while this is a bit of a pain in the butt locally, oh my gosh, this would be a monster. So interestingly enough, node modules is already being ignored, and I don't know why. Because I don't have a git. I don't even think I have a git ignore. Oh, actually, okay, yeah, it's not being ignored. It's green now. It must have been empty. So yeah, the next thing will be, okay, so I think I need to add a git ignore. I think that I need to add a git ignore. Because git thinks needs to add thousands of files from node modules. I think that maybe there's so many powerful things about ChatGPT, but I think maybe the most powerful thing might be that it actually does a pretty good job if you read and interact with it of teaching you the words that the concepts in the words. But like if you just grab the code and just paste it in, you're probably not. Should add. Too late. Too late. Too late. Okay. I don't want. Rather, I don't know why it wants me to reset everything. Just add it now. Yeah, I have no idea what that was. Horrible advice. It was trying to give me really, really bad advice. Okay, so we want to do this. We want to create a new file. There's a lot of ways to do that, and it needs to be called .git ignore. So as you can see down here, it's still trying to install. Cypress. It's taking it forever. All right, and then we want to definitely, we probably want, okay, we don't have any environment variables, so I don't want to add that until we do. But you can just paste this and hit save. Is it Cypress though? I don't think it's, oh yeah, I think inside of it, it'll end up creating that folder structure. See, now there's only 2 files that need to be updated. It was saying that it needed like thousands of files, but now it only wants to update. It only wants to add git ignore and package.json. So I could like technically commit it and push it right now. But I think I want to add like in my package.json, which this isn't a good time. This is a weird package.json. That's fascinating. I don't know that I've ever done an npm init before I I've never created my repo and then created the no the no done the npm init dash underscore dash y. This is nice because it actually captures all this stuff if you've already got the repo in there. I had no idea that was a thing. Okay, so like to create a couple of scripts, in my package file. One to start it, to run it headless, run tests headless, and one to run tests um, um, in the browser, in a browser, in all right. So we're gonna try to add a couple packages. I think there's still like, see, it doesn't actually say that Cypress is installed yet, so it's still gonna update this file whenever it's done with this. So these are the scripts I'm gonna want. So cy open. I think I usually call it Cypress instead of cy. So I'm gonna, instead of cy, I'll call that open, and then a base URL too. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. So now you can, like with this, you could go have it go someplace, but I don't really need it. I think I want this, and then I probably just want both of these dash dash config like that. Oh, is it done? It's done. Yay. All right. So I want, I don't know. I guess I want all 4 of these, and then I'll just take what I want. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of this test. All that would literally do is run. It would just echo. It would just put that text in there. Okay. Okay, so I think I want this to read Cypress, and that is, I believe, our browser version, and this is our headless version. And then I think I want this in both cases to be here because we don't actually have a production, and we're years away probably from having a production based on the pace that things are going. I think it wouldn't surprise me if 10 years from now we're still looking at a single cube that's just twisting. All right, so now we have our tests. All right, so I think I'm just going to try to run it and see what happens and then make a decision. npm run Cypress open. And I really like open Cypress better, but and I have the control, but I don't know. I don't know why I always go with this. I think it's just because it's the more normal, the more typical thing. I don't think this is running. Now that I think about it, I don't think we have a. So I think it's going to complain that it doesn't actually have one of these things running right now. Yeah. So this looks good. I think this is as far as I want to go today. I think this thing probably already has a, let's see. Well, I guess I want to commit what I have and push it, but I don't know what's going on with, because what's weird to me is I'm expecting to find like scripts and stuff, like we have in here. We have Cypress, and then we have all this stuff in there. Maybe we have to, I guess maybe we have to create one first. Okay, we would like to add, we added. Okay, so that's where I end up with, oh my gosh, and then it creates its own Cypress folder. Ah, well, it's kind of a bummer. I would kind of enjoyed this being, I guess now I actually, so this is kind of nice because, yeah, so they can't get that running. Let's go ahead and launch another one of these things. Visual Studio Code. And then we're going to want to do a recent one, recent and space and time. So that's the actual Angular application. So we're just going to run this. It'll be interesting to see if I end up like running with two. I probably will. I bet you I think I'm going to end up running with two. I don't know. Okay, so this is already up at the top. I'm trying to like right now I'm working on my workflow, I guess, which is I know a bit weird. So I think we want to add one of these. Is that still working on something? Oh yeah, because we're running this. And then we want to go cd space time. Nope. Cd dot dot cd sp and then npm start. So it did create our new Cypress stuff, fixtures and support. And I think once we run this one time, we can copy, we'll be able, it'll create this directory structure here. And then I think we want the code. Is that inside of Cypress? No. Is our code in here? I have no friggin' idea where the code is. It's so funny because I've worked on it so many times. Space and time, and then Cypress, and then oh, it's in this E2E. That's right. So we'll have hopefully we'll have an E2E folder after this is done. But we're still waiting for the localhost to come up. Come on, come on, come on. I think we can once we do that, we can say try again, right? Yeah, try again. Oh, it found it this time. Oh, it's up and running. All right. So we still don't have a, we're looking for this E to E to come in, right? So we still don't have that. And I just can't even begin to explain. Like it's so, I think this is the most important thing you could do in code. So we're going to create a spec is in software development, web development anyways. Yeah, so now we have our E2E folder. And so this first spec they build us just goes over to their Cypress website. It probably gives them like a little bit of like data that they can use to um, sort of validate themselves and see how many people are using it and probably do sales and stuff like that. I don't know what like it would be interesting to know um, how these guys monetize this. I would have guessed, if I had to guess, my guess is they probably have like um, a like they probably send consultants out. They have a consultancy um, to you to get your, to get you all nice and set up. That would probably be a pretty fun job, consultant for that. All right, so now we have that. I'm curious, of course, probably the most interesting question for me right now is what freaking version of TypeScript are they tying us to? Are they even tying us to a version of? Oh, that's our lock. We don't want to go in there. That's crazy. It's crazy. So I don't even see. Oh, I wonder. No, I remember when we first set this up, we had to set it. Yeah, see, this doesn't have any of the TypeScript stuff. See, like if we look over here, we can see we have like a TS config and stuff like that. All right, so I can't remember how we did that. Okay, so now I have Cypress set up. Looks like it does not come set up for TypeScript by default. I'm curious about this in general, like if that is actually the case or if I'm missing something or whatever. Wow, it's so slow. I mean, for what it's doing, it's saying that it's even possible, but like typically we'll move faster in this. Yeah, I don't know what we did to get TypeScript working over here. And in some ways, I sort of regret getting TypeScript working. Um, okay, so we want to do this, I guess. So first thing we want to do is this. Okay, so Cypress is now working. I guess we should go ahead and kill it. Probably don't want to be doing any of this down and dirty plumbing while it's running. Okay, so we're gonna install TypeScript types for Node. So basically what I'm hoping to do is just be able to copy this whole file over into from here and into over there and run it and see if it works. And if it does, then we'll just do all the rest tomorrow. All right, so we added the TypeScript types for Node. Then we need to create our own JSON. So I'm curious in our package now. Okay, so now we have TypeScript 6.03 over here. So it seems like we would have, if we'd have just like, we could like uninstall and reinstall TypeScript over here, or we might even been able to, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I was complaining, I guess, about the version of TypeScript. Yeah, that actually is such an interesting question to me. So we want to create a new file called TypeScript in the root of this guy right here, and not in that root. We'll see how we did it up here. I don't think we want it in. Well, maybe we do. In here? Is this where the? No. Okay, so up here, see, that's the thing is up here. we had space and time, and then we had our ts config. Oh, and we had our cypress config.ts. Oh, and that was at the root of the Angular application. But this time I want it at the root of the space and time application, I believe. Space and time Cypress application. So not in there, but up here. And this is tsconfig.json. Is that right? TS. All right, so now we have our tsconfig.json. I hope that's in the right place. I guess it wouldn't be that hard to move it up here if we need to, but it seems like it belongs in here. And it says in the root, so it doesn't even tell us the root of what. But here it is. It's kind of crazy that this is going to be Cypress 6.0. So we could have like just uninstalled and reinstalled Cypress, and it probably would have, we would have been fine. But I don't want those tied together. I don't want to have to uninstall and reinstall Cypress every time. Okay, so now we want a Cypress config.ts. Okay, so it created that. Wait, Cypress, I don't have a Cypress config. You can rename it from JS if needed. Okay, so we need to rename. I remember, I have a vague memory of this one. Rename this to TS. And then tell Cypress to use rename JS if needed. And so now we want to go into our Cypress config. So we have that first line, but it's different. Then E to E spec pattern like this. Okay, so I currently have something like this in here. I'm going to tell it what I have actually. Okay, so this is the current. This is what the current uh, cypress.config.ts looks like. You just need to convert it to TypeScript friendly. Okay, so I guess we do need that to change that to import. So I guess we just need to copy all that. Looks like we kept the setup node events now that I showed it that. So, and allow Cypress and false is still accurate apparently. Okay, so let's save that. We also want this config tweak. tsconfig.json. So that's this guy here. And so that is already there. What's this one? And that is already there. Cypress includes Cypress. The only thing is they had it all. They have it all on one line. But it looks like I already have those. Transpiling. Even though, so you don't need. Wait, important detail. People miss this. Even though the config is now TS, Cypress still runs on it via node internally. So you don't need Angular style build tool. You need Webpack, Cypress handles. Optionally improved, very useful later. You can strongly type the config. I don't know where that strong I don't see any strong typing there. So let's go back to this Cypress config. And it's saying that set up nodes. What is different? I don't see anything different. Allow. Oh, wait. They just got rid of this allow Cypress event false. Yeah, I don't even know what they're talking about. They said you can optionally, it's already that way. And I don't see any strong typing in there. So that was just, okay. So now let's try running Cypress again. They kind of forgot that we had redone it and we changed the name. Cypress is unusual in that it will get pretty far before it fails a lot of times, and then sort of die. Which I think is a good thing because like it gives you a lot more to work on. A lot of things will just die like right out of the gate, and it's just like anything in the whole, I guess we're calling them pipelines now. Anything in the whole pipeline could die. Okay, so it is a JS here. And what we're going to try to do now is change it to TS and see it shouldn't care. All right, so now we should be able to come into this guy and go into our ETE and change this, rename this to TS. Because TypeScript is um, a superset of JavaScript. So you can just name, you should be able to just rename anything. So let's see this. If it now, I think it usually can figure that out like in real time. Like you don't have to restart all of Cypress to. Yep. So now it's a TS, and it looks like it's still working. So I guess the next step, which I cannot imagine how this would fail, but the next step will be to like just test the strong typing. Right. So we're just going to say const URL, and we're going to tell it that it's a string and that it's equal to this right here. And then we're going to say URL. And then, so we're doing this right here. Up in here, up in here. Uh-oh. Oh, it's because I killed it. So that so far so good. And I feel like we just need to do one last test. And we are going to take, basically, I guess we can go over here, up in here, go to our EDE folder, just grab this guy. And just put that in here. Hit save. Now, I feel like we're doing like the best thing we can do long term. But again, we just wasted a whole nother session without actually accomplishing anything other than moving stuff around and all that. And I feel like that is like what kills most projects. So that's weird that it says it was last updated 14 minutes ago. But I guess all we have to do is click on it and we'll find out if that is not correct. Oh yeah. All right. So basically, I think all I need to do is go into the folder system, and I guess we should do that now. That'll save us a lot of time. So I can save this. Because I mean, I could do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be Monday morning, and then like we could do that, and then tomorrow will be in great shape. But I mean, but tomorrow I have to come all the way up to speed again, and I'm like right here. Um, okay, so that's the actual application, and this is our new, and then Cypress, and then ETE, and then we want to delete this one, and we want to paste this one. We hit save. Oh, we don't hit save there. Now they're in there, so then we say start, and we'll just say viz. Since we already tested home, let's test viz. All right, so that's awesome. So we've moved all of the code from here to here. So, and this is a whole different repo. So that's going to be confusing because I don't do that in my other projects. My other projects, they both have, they're in the same repo. They just are in whole different sections so that they have their own package.json. Now, what I find hilarious, but doesn't change anything for me, is like, because I had no reason to upgrade to Cypress. There really isn't. That I have full control over. If it works the way I want it to work, leave it as is. If it doesn't work the way I don't want it to work, then upgrade. The Angular application is a totally different situation. Um, anyway, so we have this over. So I'm gonna tomorrow morning I'm gonna want to commit and push this, and then I'm gonna want to just literally delete Cypress. And I don't know when I delete it, it feels like the right thing probably to do would be to like un to remove Cypress from this package, right? So do like an npm uninstall. Where are you? Like we're gonna want to get rid of these commands up here, and then we're gonna want to uninstall Cypress, which I'm guessing is a dev dependency. I don't even see it in here though. It's weird. Oh, there it is. So yeah, I'm gonna want to uninstall Cypress, and hopefully that uninstalls the plugin, and then we want to delete this stuff. And honestly, like it would be very, very tempting. It's actually very, very tempting to just leave it. Because it's not really hurting anything. But the thing is these things just stack up. They just stack up, and there's never going to be an easier time to remove Cypress. I have a full grip on everything Cypress is supposed to do and all that. If I go another month, I won't hardly remember any of this kind of stuff, and then next thing you know, there'll be some other thing, and then some other thing, and it's just like, yeah, you just really want to take the time to delete it. So then that means that's tomorrow. I'll be committing this one, deleting that one. That's a whole nother session to the upgrade, right? But like the upgrade sort of dodged the bullet. It doesn't look like it's the upgrade because I upgraded to 22. The problem is that the ripple effect of other work, and so I have defeated that problem in the future. I won't have that problem, but um, it was a problem, and you know I still haven't done that. But after that, then we're gonna start working on groups, and basically, if you come in here and you go to like the data view and you add one of these things, it's kind of neat because you can kind of work your way down. You can say, oh, okay, so this is scene ID 3. Let me come down to scene ID. This is mesh IDs 4. I don't want there to be a mesh ID, so I want there to be a ST group IDs. And a group IDs can have an array of mesh IDs. A group ID can also have an array of lights in it, and it could also have an array of other groups in it. Um, so, you know, that's the thing. And so basically, I want that to go between 3 and 4. And I do think these things being in order helps a lot too. So I actually am going to want it to show up between 3 and 4. But like that alone, if I get that to work, so mesh, ST mesh in this situation would be 5 and geometry would be 6 and all that. So, and it would just slide right in here. That very well could be a big pain in the butt. I don't think so. I think that's gonna be pretty straightforward, but it's just a matter of when it gets created. But like, yeah, this is going to ripple throughout the entire application. And the thing is this is not going to be the only time this happens, because when we do go to add other things, we're going to have the same effect. Now, I don't know if we'll have another one that actually, I hope we don't have another one that actually sort of like is structurally changes the way things works. But anyways, have a wonderful day, everybody. Happy coding. Bye.